Alright guys, before we start this video, I just wanted to note that I realized in my last video, I said I'd never play Halo 5 again, but, well, things aren't that simple. Hilariously enough, the very day after I uploaded my last video, 343 decided to update the game and fix about half the things I talked about in that video. The stupid rec system's still there, but that isn't exactly likely to leave in the first place, simply due to the fact that it's a core mechanic. Anyway, recently a relative of mine grabbed Halo 5, and so I figured I'd give it a try again. Surprisingly enough, I started to enjoy the game again, and, well, this video came to fruition. Enjoy! Alright, what's up everybody? It's Skittlez, and welcome back to another long talk. Gonna be talking about Halo 5 again today, so if you feel like it, sit back, relax, play yourself a nice game, subscribe if you haven't, like the video if you enjoyed it, and enjoy the video. So, Halo 5. A highly controversial game, as seemingly everyone hates it, but just as many people love it, and, well, I'm not gonna lie, I was one of the people who absolutely despised the game and refused to even call it Halo. Until I decided to pick the game back up and give it a second try. Surprisingly, I found myself enjoying the game, and I figured I'd make a second video on what I actually enjoyed about Halo 5. Something I only briefly mentioned in the last video was that Halo 5, at its core, is not a bad game. In fact, it can be insanely fun with playlists such as like Action Sack, Griffball, and the new custom games lobby, which by the way is amazing. And I wish I want them to keep that, like, seriously. Anyway, you can spend hours playing Halo 5 in those playlists and be having fun the entire time. But still, my complaint lies where many others do, is that, well, Halo's losing its identity. You can see it as the games progress. Halo 4 bringing in default sprinting and loadouts, abandoning the old art style of the other titles, Halo 5 adding advanced mobility. It's just a lot to take in and a lot of unnecessary and often despised concepts. This is leaving out Halo Wars 2's beautiful mixture between the old and new art styles, which I very much hope they keep, as neither one of them are bad, but they mix insanely well together. Either way, with all these changes, it isn't hard to see a massive difference between the new and old Halo games. Even playing them feels massively different between each title. And that's something that's really hard to stomach for me personally, as someone who grew up playing Halo since I was about 5. A lot of people, including me sometimes, pin their anger on the advanced mobility system, and while I believe that's a problem with Halo, it's not the only problem, and it's not even the root of the problem. Take Titanfall and Titanfall 2, for example. These games are an absolute blast to play with your friends, and nothing feels better than jumping up onto a wall, running across it, jumping off the wall, landing on your friend's Titan as you storm around the battlefield, jumping from Titan to Titan, ripping out batteries, and just demolishing everything in your path. Those games started the advanced mobility trend that games are caught up in nowadays, and they do it better than everyone else. Better than these seasoned AAA developers who've been making video games for years. Even Call of Duty seems like it's getting hurt by this trend with games like Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 3, and don't even get me started on Infinite Warfare. Seriously, those games are hurting their franchise's sales. None of the games were inherently bad, actually. I've played all 3 of them, or at least have somebody that I know and trust very well that has played it, and they say they're good. None of those games are inherently bad, but each one of them suffered from the same thing, and Halo suffers from it too. How you could say a lot of things suffer from this even outside the gaming industry. This cause is that keeping up with what's cool is hard. A lot of people thought that that advanced mobility that the original Titanfall had was really awesome. I think it's really awesome. But it's when all those other titles started to adapt that advanced mobility system that it ended up losing its self. If you understand what I'm saying. You know, I think it's something like in real life. Trying to keep up with something that's, quote, cool is very, very difficult. And you almost always lose yourself along the way. You always end up giving away a piece of yourself to obtain something that people think is cool. And I'm not trying to give a fantastic speech on, society and the way people think about you. That's not what I'm doing. I'm saying that the way that this impacts the game that you're playing, it often drains all the fun out of it. And this is why I think Halo is having such a problem right now. Halo is probably suffering the most from this being cool trend, and it sucks to see because it had clearly established itself as different from all the other shooters. While games like Call of Duty had sprinting in their games for years, Halo 3 still had you strolling along the battlefield at a moderate pace, so you could better appreciate this carefully crafted map or the world around you. And even while every other first-person shooter on the market had an ADS system, Halo stayed true to its roots and kept you firing from the hip. All these little things, however, got taken away in games like Halo 4 and Halo 5, and is why people are saying that, quote, Halo has lost its identity. Do I think it's 343's fault? No. They're just trying to keep up with today's demand for better games, and sadly they lost themselves along the way. At the end of the day, Halo 5 is still an enjoyable experience that I see myself playing again, now that I've taken off my nostalgia goggles and looked at it for face value. It's still a fantastic time playing carefully crafted custom games and these amazing maps created through this insanely in-depth Forge mode, though it's intensely complicated. I mean, just take game types like Night of the Mantis, where you fight off waves of empty mantises. Mantises. That's just so awesome. Like, how are people able to do that? I will never understand, but it's so much fun. Anyway, my point of this video, while significantly shorter than the last, is that Halo 5 is not a bad game. Not by a long shot. It's a great experience to have, and I recommend people buy it, but I just can't see it as a Halo game. It's very difficult to see as a Halo game, and I accept it, but not happily. That's why, and a lot of others have such a deep problem with it as a game, is that it has that Halo title before it. So, 343. At the end of the day, just listen to the community. We don't care about all that advanced mobility. We don't care about 60 FPS. So give us our split screen back, which was confirmed, by the way. We just want a good, fun Halo game. And with that, I'll wrap this video up. So, until next time, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like the video, comment if you have your own opinion, and subscribe if you haven't. Peace out. You have a very low chance to get anything that's worth anything. And while I'm talking about anything that's worth anything, if you don't know, I'm a very cosmetic person. I like to look cool while I am cool. So, Halo's customization has always been really important to me, because ever since Halo 3, where you could change around your armor. Oh, and get rid of that stupid rec system. Thank you.